Hi everyone, welcome to today's session titled Sophistication in Simplicity. I am Pranav from Smallcase, and today we will be talking about what are small cases and why you should consider investing in small cases to build your long-term wealth. So this is going to be a fairly interactive session, and what I'm going to do here is basically cover these set of topics. So the things that we will be discussing today is going to be about what small cases are essentially as an instrument available for investment. Then we will be talking about how to go ahead and explore some of the small case ideas that are out there. So we have a variety of different ideas and strategies available. So you as a retail investor can basically go ahead and explore these ideas. And we'll also be talking briefly about who has created these particular small cases, and we'll be showing you a live demo of how to invest in a small case using your angel broking trading and demat account. In the end, we will be covering, how to go ahead and regularly rebalance your portfolio or rebalance your small case so that it stays healthy in the long run. And we will also take up some of the frequently asked questions. So now let us start by exploring what small cases are. So as you can see on the screen, small cases are a portfolio of stocks or ETFs, and they're weighted to track a theme, strategy, or an objective. And they help in building long-term wealth. So what does this essentially mean? Now, let us say me as a retail investor, let us say that I wanted to curate a particular portfolio for myself. So what I'm going to do is log into my trading and demat account and basically pick one or two stocks that I might have sourced from, news. It could have come through a friend's recommendation. It could be any source that you can think of. Now, what happens in this situation is that my exposure as a retail investor solely lies with the one or two stocks that I have chosen. And these particular stocks also were not chosen from a very strict fundamental analysis point of view. So what happens in this case is that my risk becomes more concentrated just towards these one or two investments that I have made. And in the long run, if the markets fluctuate and if these particular set of stocks are on the negative end of some sort of negative news, then my portfolio stands to take a beating because of it. So what we at Small Cases did is we came up with a concept where you could invest in a basket of stocks and basically also know how this particular small case basket has performed in different market conditions. So you will also be able to explore a variety of different ideas available to go ahead and make your investments. So now, in order to explore what are the available strategies and what are the available ideas that are out there, what we are going to do is basically take you on the live platform, and we are going to show you how to explore different small cases using a variety of filters, how to basically understand what you're investing in, and how to look at the performance metric of each and every particular small case. So now I have arrived on smallcase.com. So over here, the first step that needs to be followed is for us to be able to log into the platform using our preferred broker, which is in this case, Angel Broking. So what I'm going to do is click on this particular button over here, and I'm going to choose Angel One as my preferred broker. Over here, I'm going to input the user ID, and then I'm going to input my password. Post that, click on login, and now you have managed to successfully log into the Smallcase platform using your Angel Broking credentials. So now that we have logged in, let us take a look at any one of the small cases to try to understand what a small case is generally made of. So to do so, under Discover, please click on All Small Cases. You will now be presented with a list of a variety of small cases with which you can start your investment journey. So what I'm going to do is basically click on any one of these particular small cases. So I'm going to click on ARQ Prime by Angel One. Now, what you're seeing on the screen is, let me explain each element one by one. So the name of the small case will be mentioned right over here. So the name of this particular small case is going to be ARQ Prime by Angel One. And what this small case does in one line will be mentioned below it. So here we can see that this particular small case has been curated as a 15 stock portfolio selected based on multi-factor model and quantitative analytics. Now, for someone who wants a more detailed explanation on what this particular small case is all about, what you have to do is just scroll down to the overview section. In the overview section, you will basically find a detailed explanation of what this particular small case is and who it is meant for. So when we are trying to analyze if a particular investment is meant for us, does it suit our requirements, and can we go ahead with it? The first suggestion of mine would be to come to the overview section and explore more about that particular small case. Now, let us take a look at what this small case is made up of. So to do so, please click on the stocks and weights section over here. So once you do that and scroll down, you will be able to see the list of stocks that are the constituents in this particular small case. So we can see that it has a variety of sectors. For example, industrial machinery, then we have stock exchanges and rating agencies, then we have cables, private banks, IT services and consulting, and so on. And each of these sectors have stocks that have been picked up inside of it. For example, under private banks, we have ICICI Bank as one of the private banks that have been picked up in this particular small case. Under IT services, we have Mindtree, of course, and under software services, we have Persistent Systems. So what is happening here is that this particular basket has been designed with these particular stocks, and this particular investment strategy constitutes as an idea. So if you look at this particular small case, this is always going to be a 15 stock portfolio. And this method that we are going to follow in order to select stocks is going to be based on a multi-factor model. So it can involve a variety of factors that are going to come into it. And we are also going to use quantitative analytics to pick up stocks into this particular small case basket. Now that we have understood how the sector composition and how the stocks are being picked up, let us try to understand more about this particular small case. So how to go about that? The first thing that comes up in most of the retail investors' minds is the performance metric of a particular small case. So whenever we decide to go ahead and explore a particular small case, one of the most crucial things is to look at the small case performance and if that performance suits well with our requirements. So there are investors who prefer high risk portfolios by taking, going for higher reward as, the component that comes along with it. And there are some investors who are very risk averse and they wish to go for small cases which portfolios which tend to give stable performances during all market conditions. So it really depends on the investor's philosophy. So to explore how every small case is done, what we have to do is simply scroll down. So every small case has a performance metric attached to it. So what do we mean by that? Let me explain. So as you can see on the screen, you can see two graphs here. So one is the blue graph, which is representing the small case in question. That is the ARQ prime portfolio. And the second line, that is the yellow graph, is representing the equity mid and small cap index. So the index comparison happens here directly. If this particular small case is made up of the majority of the portfolio is made up of large cap stocks, then the comparison will happen directly with the equity large cap index. If this small case is generally made up of both mid and small cap stocks, then the comparison automatically happens with the equity mid and small cap index. If the majority of the small case is made up of small cap stocks, then the comparison happens directly with the equity small cap index. So that is how the system has been intelligently designed. Now, let us explore how to understand and read the performance here. So as you can see, this particular small case has a launch date attached to it. So you can see that the launch date was on May 18th of 2016. And from then on, we can notice that the notional value is placed at 100 for both the equity index and for the small case in question. What this means is that we are going to start calculating the portfolio's value from 100. This is based on a simple assumption of what would have happened to this portfolio or small case if you had started with 100 rupees of investment. So if you had started with 100 rupees of investment on the May, in 2016 and on May 12th of 2016, then the portfolios or the small cases valuation today would have been 546, which means it is about a 446% gain. And similarly, if the same amount of capital had been allocated in the equity mid and small cap index, then the notional value of 100 would have increased to 244, which means that the investor would have been able to fetch 144% return since the time of investment. So this is what we mean by comparing performances. So what if you wish to compare the small cases performance versus the index in the last 3 years, 2 years, or any specific time frame that you have in mind? So if you wish to compare the small cases performance with the index for the last 3 years, what you will have to do is come down to the 3 years section over here and click on it. So once you do that, you will be able to see how the small case has performed in the last 3 years. So again, the calculation starts from 100 and now it has become 309, which means that over this particular time frame, that is in the last 3 years, this particular small case has managed to return about 209% to the client, whereas the same amount invested in the equity mid and small cap index would have fetched about an 80% return. So that is what we mean by these performance metrics over here. So any investor, retail investor, can easily understand these graphs by exploring them. So similarly, you can go ahead and compare 2-year performances, 1-year performances, 6 months performances, and so on. You can even compare performances as low as 3 months and 1 month also. So now that we have understood what basically the name of the small case means, what the one-liner description basically means, and how the overview section should be understood and how the graphs should be understood, let us try to take a look at what needs to be done if we want to understand more about a particular small case. So the basic details will always be available as a standard template when you click on any of our small cases. But if you wish to understand in a very deeper fashion as to what you want to know about this particular small case, what you should do is click on the fact sheet button over here. What this does is it opens up a downloadable PDF, and you can go ahead and download it from your browser right over here. And this particular PDF will have complete details that you need to know about this small case. For example, the entity which created this particular small case, in this case, it is Angel Broking's own research team, will be mentioned over here. The name and the logo will be mentioned there. Then what this small case is, that is the name of the small case and the one-line description will be mentioned here. And there will be a volatility level mentioned over here. So I will come down and explain what volatility levels are in some time, but suffice to know that the volatility levels also will be mentioned in the fact sheet. Next, we have something called as the 6-year CAGR mentioned here. So what does that mean? CAGR means compounded annual growth rate. So what this means is that since the last 6 years, this small case has managed to generate a 35% return on an average year on year. So that is how it has to be understood. So it does not mean that every year it is giving exactly 35% returns. 1 year it could be less than that, 1 year it could be more than that, but on an average, this is what this is the return that this particular small case is able to generate. Now, the rationale of curating this particular small case, the philosophy with which it has been created, will be mentioned under the small case rationale. Then if you scroll down, you will be able to see something called as methodology. So here, details about how the universe of stocks were selected will be mentioned over here. So here it states that all publicly traded companies on the National Stock Exchange are listed in this particular small case basket. So what this means is that all the stocks under National Stock Exchange can be considered by the small case manager to include in this particular small case. It need not be that they have to only be large cap stocks or mid cap stocks or small cap stocks. Any stocks that the research team feels is right for this particular small case will be included in this particular small case basket. Now, when we scroll down, we'll be able to see the research component. That is, what is the research mechanism that went into basically curating this particular idea. And then we will also be talking about things like historical backtesting. To what degree has it been, backtested against an index? And then we'll also be talking about the screening mechanism. So how is it that, what is the mechanism that was used in order to select the exact stocks that had to come into this particular small case basket? Then we will also be talking about, the weightage. So is this particular basket having stocks which are all equiveighted? What does equiveighted mean? Now, let us say that there are 10 stocks in any particular small case. So if every stock has roughly a 10% weightage, then that means that it's an equiveighted portfolio. Now, let us say that there is a small case basket where one stock has 30% weightage and the other stock has a 5% weightage. In that case, it's not an equiveighted portfolio. So that is what we mean by weighting mechanism. That will be mentioned over here. Then the next important components that will be mentioned is the rebalance. What do we mean by rebalance? Every small case manager, I'll come down to what a manager is, but for now, let us understand that that is an entity or that is a person who is managing this particular small case, who has created it and who is consistently reviewing and managing it. That particular entity is now going to continuously rebalance your particular small case on a stipulated time. What does that mean? Let us say that we selected a particular small case for our investment, and this small case had 10 stocks in it. Now, let us say that I have picked it up today, that is on the 23rd of a particular month. Now, what if I want to keep this portfolio healthy for the next 10 years? So is it so that I'll have to pick up these 10 stocks in the first time that I'm buying this particular small case? And am I going to hold the same set of 10 stocks for the next 10 years? Absolutely not, because the markets are going to change and eventually sector specific news is going to come in and sectors are expected to change. So today pharma sector might be doing well. Tomorrow banking sector could be doing well. So it really depends on the nature of the markets and what is happening as of this moment. So what the manager is going to do here, the small case manager, is that he or she or they will be reviewing this particular small case on a time gap. So we call this as a review frequency. So some small cases have a review frequency of 1 month, which means that the entity, that is the small case manager who have created this particular small case, will be visiting this particular basket on a monthly basis, and they will be reviewing whether or not the portfolio is healthy. Similarly, if it has a quarterly rebalance schedule, what this means is that these entities or these managers will be coming in and they will be reviewing these small case baskets on a quarterly basis. And similarly, if it has an annual basis, this means that this particular small case will be reviewed once in a year. So as you can see on the screen, this small case has a weekly rebalance schedule. What this means is that the angel broking research team is going to monitor this particular small case every week. They're going to review it every week. At the time of review, if they feel that the portfolio is healthy, that the stocks are healthy, and these are the same set of stocks which have to continue, then they're going to continue with the same set of stocks and there will be no rebalancing being done. But if they feel that out of 10 or 12 stocks that this small case holds, maybe 2 stocks have to be removed and 2 more stocks have to be added in its place. It could be because of a variety of reasons. Maybe these two stocks are no longer fitting in the investment criteria. Maybe these 2 stocks have already played out their momentum. It could be a variety of criteria. So if they feel that 2 stocks or 3 stocks have to be removed and another 2 or 3 stocks have to be added in its place, then they are going to push out something called as a rebalance notification to you. So you will be receiving your rebalance notification through your small case app, through your WhatsApp notification if you have enabled them on the small case platform, and also via email. So once you receive that, all you have to do is approve the same. If you approve that, what is going to happen is the three stocks, old stocks will be removed and three new stocks will be added in its place, which will keep the portfolio healthy according to the dynamic market conditions which are changing. So this is the philosophy and investment, this is the philosophy behind how you should go about doing your investments. And this kind of a mechanism of continuously keeping your small cases rebalanced will ensure that your portfolio is healthy in the long run. So what this is one of the, I would say, biggest benefits of owning a small case. So you will continuously be asked to rebalance your portfolios, which means that you are not stuck with any one particular, set of stocks for, throughout your investment journey. So what is going to happen is that you get to continuously participate in rebalances going forward. So this is one of the most loved features of small case users. And, rebalance notifications is what has helped a lot of these small cases perform phenomenally well in the long run. So let's go to the next element that will be available in the fact sheet. So you find something called as ratios. So we know that a lot of you are tech savvy investors and you would want to understand financial details about, or detailed financial metrics about each particular small case basket. So just like a stock, a small case basket also has these performance metrics. So for example, we have financial ratios like P ratio, PB ratio, Sharpe ratio, and the dividend yield. So this will be directly compared with the index that has been chosen. So in this case, it is being compared with the equity, mid and small cap index. So we can see that the PE ratio is 42 against the mid and small caps PE ratio of 29. Similarly, the PB ratio has been compared, Sharpe ratio has been compared, and the dividend yield has also been compared. Now, let us take a look at more important elements. So we have something called as important fields here. So we can see something called as an inception date and then a launch date. So in this case, both are the same. We will be explaining the difference between an inception and a launch date for another small case. But the launch date basically shows the date on which this particular small case was made live for client investments. So that was on the May 12, 2016. Inception date basically describes the date on which the small case has been back tested with a particular index. So from the launch date onwards, this small case has been made live for client investments. And this is how this particular small case has performed in a real life market condition. Now, we can also see something called as the review frequency here, which we have already discussed. This particular small case basket has a weekly review frequency. And it has been last reviewed on December 22, 2021 and will be next reviewed on December 29, 2021. So there is exactly a 1 week gap. Again, post December 29, it will be reviewed once again after 1 week from that particular date. You can also see something called as the market cap distribution over here. So you can see how many large cap, what percentage of this portfolio is made up of large cap stocks. So here you can see that it's 29%. Mid cap stocks has a weightage of about 30% in this particular small case, and small cap stocks have a weightage of about 42%. So you can also see the graph over here. And if you scroll down, you will find a variety of other metrics that is meant for those investors who are very savvy towards these financial details. So with the basic elements now covered, let us take a look at what volatility means. So you can see here that this particular small case has been categorized as medium volatility. So let us try to understand what volatility means. It means the degree to which this, in a layman language, it means the degree to which this particular small case fluctuates along with the market condition. So if it fluctuates in a very high manner, then it is considered as a high volatility portfolio or a small case. If it fluctuates in a medium way, not in a very high way, and not in a very stable way, then it falls under medium volatility. And if it tends to generally stay stable during different market conditions, it is considered as low volatility. So that is what we mean by volatility. And you will have volatility tags here for each and every small case that you can see. So now I hope that you have understood how to basically click on a small case of your choice and read and understand the different elements that are present here. Now, let us take a look at how we can go ahead and basically select a small case of our choice. So to do that, please click on Discover and click on All Small Cases. So now you will have a variety of small cases that you can choose from. And naturally, this becomes confusing for all of us, because now how do I go about doing my investments? So generally what we have noticed is that people are more inclined towards looking at only performance metric as the philosophy behind starting their investments. But we strongly discourage that. What should actually be done is that you should try to understand each and every small case basket that you plan on investing in. You should try to understand the volatility levels. You should try to understand the historical performance, and you should try to understand what is the philosophy behind curating this small case. So the investment manager who has gone ahead and created this particular small case, what is that he has in his mind, he or she has in his mind, and what is the idea that has gone behind the selected stocks that are in this particular small case. So once we understand that, we'll have to go ahead and look at performance. And then if we are satisfied with the performance, if it meets our requirement, we should go ahead and invest in that particular small case. So now, to make that particular job easy, what we have done is we have enabled a lot of filter options for you. So we have users asking us if they can segregate small cases using investment amount as a criteria. If you wish to do that, what you can do is on the left, you can see something called as investment amount. So over here, you can click on under 5,000 and you will be able to see small cases where the minimum investment amount is under 5,000. Similarly, if you wish to explore small cases which are under 25,000, you can do that. And you will see that the minimum investment amounts for these particular small cases are under 25,000. So we'll talk in detail about how this minimum investment amount is chosen. But for the moment, just stay with me. Similarly, you can also segregate it using under 50,000 option. Now, the second option available is naturally going to be volatility. So this is something that all our users tend to use. So before investing in a small case, we need to understand the most fundamental question. Isme risk kitna hai? So to understand that, what we are going to do is use the volatility filter here. So if you wish to see only small cases which have a very stable performance during different market conditions, or if the volatility has been categorized as low, then what you can do is click on low volatility over here. What this does is basically opens up and it shows you those small cases where the volatility levels are very low. So if you take a look at all-weather investing, for example, let us take a look at one low volatility small case. So over here, under ETFs and weights, you will be able to see that this small case is made up of three basic, I would say, it's made up of three basic sectors or segments. So over here, you will find that debt has a 53% weightage, equity has a 27% weightage, and gold has a 20% weightage. Now, how are we going about investing in these particular segments? So under gold, we have something called as Nippon India Gold BCTF, which is the investment that is being done, which is where the investment is being done and categorized as gold. Similarly, for debt, we are investing in liquid Bs. So I'm sure all of you are familiar with liquid Bs. So it is an instrument which has a very stable price, and it tends to give out a certain interest that is attached to it. And similarly, the equity exposure is being taken in Junior BCTF and Nifty 50 BCTF. So this is what is happening in all-weather investing. Now, let us take a look at the performance metric. Then we will try to understand why it is categorized as low volatility. So if you scroll down, what you can see is something called as a launch button here. So anything before this launch button is the back-tested performance of this particular small case strategy. And anything post this launch is where you can see the real live performance of this particular small case. So in order to just see the live performance, please click on live and you will be able to see the live performance. So this is going to be the launch date, that is July 16, 2018 for this particular small case. And you will be able to see that even during the March COVID crisis of 2020, that this particular small case did not have any drastic drawdown with the market. So even when the markets had fallen by 35%, this small case did not correct to that extent. So why is it so? Because the exposure in this particular small case is happening in three different asset classes. One is gold, the other one is equity, and the third one is liquid base. So all of them act complementary to each other, and they tend to generally give a very stable performance irrespective of market condition. So even during a bull market, this portfolio is not going to fluctuate very widely and give extraordinary performance during the bull markets. And even during bear markets, this particular small case is not expected to continuously crash along with the market and give a very bearish performance. It's expected to stay stable during different sorts of market conditions. So that is what makes this small case get labeled as a low volatility small case. Now let us try to explore the next filter criteria. So when we scroll down, we can see something called as the investment strategy here. So iska matlab kya hai? What this means is that if you have a particular strategy already in mind, for example, let us say you want to invest in a small case where the dividend payouts are high and where dividends are consistently being paid out. So if you wish to do that, what you have to do is select dividend as your investment strategy. And you will be presented with those small cases which have dividend as the investment strategy behind them. For example, we have dividend aristocrats here, dividend stars, growth and income small case, and so on. So you will also be noticing that this has been labeled as a medium volatility small case. And this has given a 5-year compounded annual growth rate of 23%. What does this mean? Let me reiterate. It means that this small case has on an average managed to generate 23% returns every year since the last 5 years on an average. So now, if you wish to look at asset allocation as an investment strategy, you will be able to see those particular small cases here. Now, you will also notice all weather investing here. And the reason is because this is an asset allocation strategy. And there are 3 asset classes here, not just equity, not just stocks. We have gold and we have liquid base also. So similarly, if you wish to explore a variety of other strategies like growth, momentum, quality-based small cases, quantamental research-based small cases, feel free to select any of these investment strategies and you will be able to see those small cases which correspond to that particular strategy. Now, if you wish to explore small cases depending on just their performances, it is strictly not recommended that you do that. But if you wish to do that, what you can do is make use of the sort by functionality here. So what you can do is click on sort by and then select the time frame of your choice. If you wish to see the small cases which have given the best performance in the last 3 years, you can click on the 3-year button over here and you will see on your screen each small case with its 3-year performance. So here we can see that ARQ Prime has managed to give the best performance in the last 3 years with a return of about 209% to its investors. And IT Tracker, which is being managed by Windmill Capital, has managed to generate about 204% and so on. Similarly, if you wish to segregate small cases using their 5-year returns, you can click on the 5-year option here. And you'll be able to see that IT Tracker in the last 5 years has managed to give about 418% return, whereas ARQ Prime has managed to give about 354%. Similarly, you can use different time frames to segregate which small case you wish to invest in depending on their return rate. So now what we are going to do is take a journey into how to go ahead and invest in the small case of our choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on any particular small case that I'm going to see on the screen. For example, let us take the first one, which has been curated by the Angel Broking research team. So once I have logged into my particular, once I've logged into the small case platform using my Angel Broking credentials, I'll have to ensure that the minimum investment amount is available in my Angel Broking trading and demat account. Now, why is this the case? This is because this minimum investment amount of 45,000 will now be pulled from your trading and demat account and will be used to purchase stocks. Where are these stocks going to go? they're going to come directly into your own trading and demat account. So you will be the owner of these particular stocks. Now let us try to understand how to invest in it. So now when you click on the invest now button over here, you will be presented with two options, a one-time investment and a monthly SIP. So what does this mean? If you wish to make a one-time lump sum investment, kindly click on one-time investment. So now you will be presented with the minimum investment amount here. If you wish to increase it, you can feel free to do so. In this case, I'm going to edit it as 60,000. So if you wish to start an SIP, you can go ahead and click on monthly SIP. SIP is for those who wish to consistently keep investing in a particular small case. So for the time being, let us proceed with a one-time investment. Now you can see the stocks that will be purchased in your trading and demat account, the current market price of these stocks, the weights of these stocks, and the type of order that is going to be placed in, and the quantity of stocks that will be purchased directly in your trading and demat account. So in order to proceed, click on confirm amount. What it is going to do is it is going to change the investment amount slightly. The system is going to decide on the investment amount depending on the current market price. So all of these stocks have a current market price attached to it, and the minimum investment amount gets decided on the number of stocks that have to be purchased multiplied by its current market price. So the nearest amount to 60,000 for this small case will be 56,023. So now what you have to do is click on invest now and click on confirm orders, and you just have to wait for a couple of moments. Now what is going to happen is these set of orders will now be placed directly in your trading in demat account, that is your angel trading in demat account, and it will be purchased there directly. So now what has happened is you have managed to successfully invest in this particular small case. Now how do we go about and check our investments? What we should do is head over to the investments tab over here and scroll down. So over here you can see ARQ Prime by Angel One has been purchased in my trading and demat account, and now you will be able to see the things, elements like what is the current investment value, what is the index value. So the index value starts at 100 after each and every investment. You will also be able to see the current returns in rupees and in percentage and the total returns. Now, let us explore more by clicking on the small case. So once you do that, you will be presented with these particular details. That is the set of stocks which were successfully purchased in your trading and demat account and the returns that it has been able to generate. Now, what if you wish to invest more in a particular small case after a period of time? So once you've decided to invest more, it could be the next day after your first investment. It could be, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, any day you wish to invest more in the small case of your choice. What you have to do is very simple. You have to log in. You have to first come to smallcases.angelbroking.com. You have to click on investments, scroll down and click on the small case of your choice. So once you've done that, you can click on the invest more option here. Once you do that, the minimum investment amount will be presented here. Now, if you wish to increase the minimum investment amount, you can feel free to do so. If you want to continue with the same amount, you can continue with the same amount. In this example, we are going to continue with it. Then I'm going to click on confirm amount and I'm going to click on invest more and confirm orders. Again, now you'll just have to wait for a couple of seconds and the orders will now be communicated to Angel Broking, which will in turn automatically place it in your trading and demat account. Now we can see that all the orders have been successfully filled, which means that these stocks have now been purchased in your Angel Broking trading and demat account. So when you scroll down, you will be able to see the current value of your investment as 1,12,000. Now, what in case you wish to set up an SIP? So what if you decide that in the long run, you want to consistently keep investing in this particular small case? So if you wish to do that, again, it's the same journey. You'll have to come down to investments, select the small case in which you want to start your SIP, and then click on start SIP. So you will be presented with a couple of options here: the SIP start date, the frequency filter, and then the amount that you wish to start your SIP with. So you can start your SIP on the same day or any future date of your choice. In this case, I'm going to choose a future date of my choice. Once that is done, I'm going to select the frequency that is best fit for me. So I can either choose a weekly frequency, fortnightly frequency, monthly or quarterly frequency. This frequency can vary depending on the small case, but for a majority of small cases, a variety of frequencies are available. So in this case, I'm going to continue with a monthly frequency, and the minimum installment amount for an SIP is 10,000. So you can feel free to increase it if you want, or you can feel free to start with, 10,000 in this case. So the minimum installment amount again changes for each and every particular small case. So in this case, we are going to continue with a 10,000 investment on a monthly basis. So if you wish to do that, just click on Start SIP and click on Continue. And now your SIP has been activated, which means that you will start whenever your SIP is due. You will get a notification stating that the SIP is due. All you have to do is click that and then make the SIP. So once you do that, you will consistently be investing in this particular small case. Now, we have basically understood how to go ahead and invest in a small case, how to go ahead and invest more in a small case, how to go ahead and set up an SIP in a small case. Now let us try to understand how to exit a small case. So again, you'll have to click on the small case of your choice. You'll have to scroll down and you will find something called as the exit small case option available here. So if you wish to exit this at any point of time, because those small case has managed to generate enough returns, you want to liquidate because of wanting cash to be available in your trading and demat account, could be a variety of reasons. You might want to participate in another small case. If you wish to do that, you'll just have to come down to My Investments, select the small case of your choice, scroll down and click on Exit Small Case. You will be presented with two options, a partial exit and a whole exit. So if you wish to exit the small case in a partial way, select the partial exit option and select whatever amount you wish to exit from. So here it says that you can exit up to 56,000. Why is this the case? Because anything less than that, and you will be tinkering around with the minimum investment amount, which is not recommended. So the minimum investment amount has to stay. And apart from that, the excess invested amount can be liquidated as a partial exit. So if you wish to do that, you can click on Confirm and then click on Exit Small Case. If you wish to exit the entire small case, click on the whole option available here, scroll down, take a look at all the stocks that will get sold now, click on Exit Small Case and click on Confirm Orders. So now, if you just wait for a couple of moments, these orders will get executed in your trading and demat account and you would have successfully exited out of the small case. So now you can see that all the orders have been successfully filled, which means that we have managed to exit this particular small case successfully. So what we can see under investments right now is absolutely nothing, which means that we have managed to successfully buy, successfully invest more, start an SIP, and also exit a particular small case. Now, let us take a look at some of the other key advantages by investing in small cases. So now we are going to explore these advantages. The first one is you can always track your performance. So you can track things like the daily change, the percentage change in your portfolios or your small cases performance. You can track your CAGR, that is the compounded annual growth rate. And you can also see stock specific news. So let us say that you're holding 10 stocks in a particular small case. You will be provided with news under the news section of these particular stocks only. So it will be narrowed down, concentrated news, which you can focus on the stocks that you've invested in. And then you will also be able to see things like the past performance of a small case and understand whether it is the right fit for you. Next, as we had discussed, some of the other advantages is being able to set up your SIP on any date you wish and being able to stop your SIP if you wish to do that with just a click of a button. All you have to do is that there is no paperwork involved here. You have to just log into the small case platform and click on Edit SIP and Stop SIP, and your SIP will be stopped. Similarly, the Invest More option gives flexibility for users to invest in their favorite small case as and when required. So if you've decided and made up your mind on the best small case to invest in as per your requirements, you can feel free to invest more as and when needed. So that is one of the other key advantages of this particular small case as a concept. Similarly, we also have the Manage option available. So what do we mean by that? It means that if you have selected, narrowed down and invested in a small case, you can also feel free to change the balance or to completely remove a stock if you feel that you do not wish to own it. So there are a variety of reasons why people might want to use that, or investors might want to use that particular feature. They might not be interested in a particular stock. They might feel that the stock might not do well, even if the SEBI registered manager feels that it is going to do well. And it could be a variety of other criteria. If you wish to do that, the manage function will allow you to edit the stock weightage or to completely remove stocks as per your discretion or as per your choice. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this practice is not encouraged unless and until the user is very sure as to why he or she wants to do it. Next, coming to rebalancing. So like we talked about, this portfolio, these set of small cases will consistently be reviewed and rebalanced by the investment advisors or the managers who are curating this particular small case. Next, we also have something called as the create option. So under create option, generally what happens is you can select and curate a set of stocks and make it into a small case basket of your choice and go ahead and invest in it. So over here, if you feel that you want to create a particular stock basket using momentum as a criteria, or let us say using sector specific criteria, if you wish to curate a small case basket with 50% weightage in pharma and 20% weightage in private banking sector and 30% in the auto sector, you can feel free to do so and curate your own basket. And you can log into your angel broking account and invest in that particular basket. So that is what we mean by curating or creating your own particular small case basket. Now, the other advantages of starting your investment journey on the small case platform is that you do not need any new accounts. So you just have to use your existing angel broking, trading and demat account, just log in and invest. So it is as simple as that. The backend integration will already be present. So you do not have to manually enter and exit each particular stock. The system will take care of things by itself. And all you have to do is just select the small case that you wish to invest in. And here, as we had discussed, the stocks are directly picked up in your own angel broking, trading and demat account, which means that you own these stocks. And then the dividends that are coming by owning these particular stocks will get credited to the bank account, just like owning an actual share in your trading and demat account. So there are no costs for investing in free small cases. So we do not charge any other additional charges. So as usual, brokerage and other charges will be applicable as per your broker. But apart from that, a majority of these free small cases can be explored and invested in without incurring any other extra charges. So I wish all of you a beautiful journey with Smallcase as a product that you can use for your investment journey, and hopefully you'll have an amazing experience with it. So what you have to do is head over to smallcases.angelbroking.com and start exploring the available small cases, and you can go ahead and invest in anything that you wish. Now, if you have any other queries with respect to how to go ahead and invest, or if you have any queries on how to choose the right small case basket, please reach out to us at Smallcase or reach out to Angel Broking and we will respond to you promptly. So thank you. Thanks a lot for taking your time out to come and attend this particular webinar.